Hi viewers, I am Vijay. Today I am going to take a demo on cell structure and functions. Let us start with cell definition and discovery. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Cell is the smallest unit that can perform life functions. All living organisms, whether they are unicellular or multicellular, they are made up of cells. In unicellular organisms, a single cell that can perform all life functions, whereas in multicellular organisms, different cells carry different functions. Robert Hooke is the first person to discover the cell for the first time in the year 1665. He observed the thin slices of cork which resembled the honeycomb consisting of empty spaces, and he called the spaces as cell. Cell is the Latin word which means little room. Later, in year 1674, Anton van Leeuwenhoek is the first person to see the living bodies like bacteria, yeast, protozoa, and RBC, etc. In this picture, we can see different type of cells: nerve cell, muscle cell, bone cell, etc. Here, the structure and shape of the cell is determined by the function that it carries. For example, let us take the nerve cell. In nerve cell, we can see the filamentous-like structures. These structures are helpful to communicate with the other cells, whereas in RBC, the shape of the cell is spherical, so that it can transport the oxygen to other body parts. Cell theory. Cell theory is a scientific theory which is helpful to know the properties of the cell. It was developed by Theodor Schwann, Matthias Jacob Sheldon, and Rudolf Virchow. According to this theory, all known living things are made up of one or more cells. All living cells arise from pre-existing cells by cell division. The cell is a fundamental unit of structure and function in all living organisms. Here we can see the structure of two different cells, that is plant cell as well as animal cell. In plant cell we can see the cell wall, but it is absent in animal cell. Cell wall is the outer covering of the plant cell. It protects the cell, and below the cell wall we can see the cell membrane, which is a selectively permeable membrane which is present in plant cell as well as in animal cell. The function of the cell membrane is it only allows certain molecules to pass through the cell membrane, and below the cell membrane you can see the cytoplasm consisting of different cell organelles. First, let us study about the Golgi operators. The function of the Golgi operators is modifying, sorting, and packaging of proteins for secretion, that is found in plants as well as in animal cells. Chloroplast, we can see the chloroplast only in plant cell. The function of the chloroplast is photosynthesis. And we can see the mitochondria both in animal cell as well as in plant cell. The function of the mitochondria is ATP generation. Let us study about all these cell organelles one after the other. Cell wall. As I already told you, it is the outer covering of the cell. It is a tough, flexible and rigid layer found in plants, fungi, bacteria, and some protists. It surrounds the cell membrane and provides the cells with structural support and protection. Cell wall is made up of cellulose, in plants, chitin in fungi, and other materials in bacteria. Below the cell wall, we can see the cell membrane. It is a biological membrane that separates the interior of cells from the outside environment. The cell membrane is selectively permeable as it allows only certain molecules to pass through it. The basic function of the cell membrane is to protect the cell from its surroundings. It consists of phospholipid bilayer with the embedded proteins. We can see the phospholipid one layer here and the other layer is here. And in between these phospholipids, you can see the proteins that are embedded inside the phospholipids. And this model was given by the Singer and Nicholson, which is called fluid mosaic model, which is worldwide accepted. Cytoplasm. Below the cell membrane, we can see the cytoplasm, which is a thick solution that fills each cell and is enclosed by the cell membrane. It is mainly composed of water, salts, and proteins. Inside the cytoplasm, we can see different cell organelles. Here are the cell organelles. We are going to study about each cell organelle in detail. First, let us study about the nucleus. Nucleus is found in eukaryotic cells. It is the largest cellular organelle. Nucleus in animal cells occupies about 10% of the total cell volume. Nucleus contains the genetic material DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid. Nucleus controls the activities of the cells by regulating the gene expression. So the nucleus is called the control center of the cell. Nucleus consists of nuclear envelope. We can see the nuclear envelope, which is a double layer membrane. This one. And we can also see the nuclear pores that are present to regulate the nuclear transport of molecules across the envelope. These are the nuclear pores. The nucleus is the largest structure in the nucleus of eukaryotic cell, where it primarily serves the site of ribosome synthesis and assembly. Nucleoli are made up of proteins and RNA. Here we can see the nucleolus. Ribosomes. Ribosomes are protein builders or protein synthesizers of the cell. Each ribosome is divided into two subunits, a smaller subunit which binds to a larger subunit and the mRNA pattern, and second one, a larger subunit which binds to the tRNA, the amino acids, and a smaller subunit. Here we can see the ribosomes, which are in spherical shape, that are attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. These are the ribosomes. Endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum occurs in most types of eukaryotic cells. It forms interconnected network of flattened membrane enclosed sacs or tubes called cisternae. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. One is a rough endoplasmic reticulum and the other one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum is studded with protein manufacturing ribosomes, giving it a rough appearance, whereas in smooth endoplasmic reticulum lacks the ribosomes and functions and lipid metabolism. Here we can see the structure of the rough endoplasmic reticulum consisting of ribosomes and giving rough appearance, whereas smooth endoplasmic reticulum lacking of ribosomes and giving smooth appearance. Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is also known as Golgi complex or Golgi body. It is found in most eukaryotic cells. It was identified in 1897 by the Italian physician Camillo Golgi, and they named the Golgi apparatus based on his name. It consists of collection of fused flat-ended membrane enclosed discs known as cisternae. These are the cisternae you can see here. These are the cisternae. A major function is the modifying, sorting, and packaging of proteins for secretion. It is also involved in the transport of lipids around the cell. Mitochondria. Mitochondria is a double membrane bound organelle found in most eukaryotic cells. Mitochondria are also called as powerhouse of the cell because they generate most of the cell supply of adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP, used as source of chemical energy. Mitochondria are involved in other tasks such as signaling cellular differentiation and cell death, as well as maintaining the control of cell cycle and cell growth. Mitochondria consist of outer membrane, and this one is called outer membrane, and this one is called inner membrane. And in inner membrane we can see two structures, cisternae and matrix. Lysosomes. A lysosome is a membrane-bound cell organelle found in most animals. They are spherical vesicles containing hydrolytic enzymes capable of breaking down virtually all kinds of biomolecules, including proteins, nucleic acids, carbohydrates, lipids, and cellular debris. Lysosomes are also called as suicidal bags because in case of disturbance of their cellular metabolism, they digest their own cell by releasing the own enzymes such as lysozyme. This is the enzyme which can break its own cells. Here we can see the lysosome structure. Vacuole. Vacuole is very large in plant cell, whereas small in the animal cell. This is the vacuole. Vacuole is a membrane-bound organelle which is present in plants and fungal cells and some protists, animals and bacterial cells. Vacuoles are essentially enclosed compartments which are filled with water containing inorganic and organic molecules. Chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are the food producers of a cell. The organelles are only found in plant cells and some protists such as algae. Animal cells do not have a chloroplast. Chloroplast works to convert light energy of the sun into sugars, that is carbohydrates, that can be used by cells. Chloroplasts consist of outer and inner membranes. We can see the outer membrane here and inner membrane here. Inner membrane consists of stroma and grana. Chloroplast contains the chlorophyll within the thylakoids. Here we can see the thylakoids. Thylakoid consists of chlorophyll. The stalks of thylakoids is called grana. Here you can see the grana, which exists in open space of chloroplast known as a stroma. This open space is called stroma. Thank you for watching the video.